What did yesterday? Stayed in the room. Y'all need to see New York. You know, they didn't really get to see the city, really.
You need that vehicle.
Yeah, I told you it's gonna be rough this weekend. I want. I can get a vehicle home, possibly. You could possibly. I'm starving too. You know something? I want me a piece of cheesecake. From you know where to get the cheesecake spot is at? Yeah. Yeah, and y'all can walk from here, get the cheesecake, see the city, enjoy the sights, would you? Show them around. Take him over the Brooklyn Bridge, let that wind hit him off the water. See how y'all feel as a group.
Ah, yes. The infamous Cheesecake March. Diddy had grown men hiking across boroughs like they were auditioning for Survivor, Brooklyn. And recently, Stevie J, Bad Boy's own music maestro and professional instigator, revisited that walk of shame on VladTV. He cracked a few jokes, nothing wild, just some light ribbing like, y'all really did that.
That was a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I would have just gotten a cab. You know, dudes ain't have no cab fare. If they would have came to me, I would have been like, yo,
It's the
take
cab
the cab.
fare.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you know how long that walk is.
Man, I don't, but they got
That
their
walk
steps
is-
in.
that walk is
I got
retarded.
this app on my phone that do the steps.
Oh, they got their
They
steps
got
in
their
that
steps
day.
in that
Yeah.
day. You know what I'm saying?
But then, Choppa City entered the chat, and it looks like he's still mad about getting picked last at recess. Because when asked about Stevie's cheesecake jokes, instead of saying, man, that was a wild time, he said, oh, word? Bet. Let me tell y'all how I allegedly smashed this girl back in '02. Sir, what?
You and Stevie J, he made some comments about, you know, y'all walking for the cheesecake that had you feeling the type of way, right?
Yeah, bro. I seen it on Vlad, and I felt disrespected. You heard me? I felt like I never, you heard me, done Stevie J nothing for him to speak on us in that way. Like we was just some, you heard me, like some peons. You heard me? One thing about City, I don't know about everybody else, but I don't play that shit. You heard me? So I'm gonna say this here. It was all fun that Diddy made us walk for a cheesecake. That's cool. That's cute. But at the end of the day, in Puerto Rico, I f***ed your bitch. Now let that blow your mind. You heard me? Now let's start there. I f***ed your bitch. You dig? Let's start there. You heard me?
You held on to that story for 20 plus years like it was a family heirloom. And that wasn't a clapback. That was a cry for help with a backbeat. So Choppa proceeds to hint, not say, just hint, that Stevie J's girl at the time was Eve. Yes, Eve. Rough Riders royalty. Philly pit bull in a skirt. Grammy-winning, fashion-killing, billionaire bag securing Eve.
But who was the girl?
All you got to do is do your history. 2003. Who was Stevie J girl? Y'all look that up. Let that blow your mind.
Let me ask you this. Was she a female rapper?
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
She's married now, living her best posh London life with a husband who probably don't even know what making the band was. And here comes Choppa, dusted off like an old mixtape under your auntie's couch, trying to throw a name into some 2003 bedroom anthology like anybody asked. Now here's the twist. He tells a story like it was supposed to make Stevie mad, but when you listen close, he says it lasted 2.3 seconds, and that she made him stop.
Respectfully, you don't have to mention her name, but how did that come about? You and her missing around? Like, what's the backstory?
I was supposed to go out to get the Puerto Rican girl, but I ended up seeing the female, coming out her room. I knocked on her. I didn't knock on the door. I walked past her, and she was by the door. And basically, I was like, "Can I eat your pussy?" I just straight said it. I was wild back then. I was reckless. I was just like, "Can I eat your pussy?" And she was like, "Boy, what?" And I was like, "Damn, can I eat your pussy? I just want to eat your pussy. I've been a fan of you for a long time." You heard me? And she was just like, "What?" And I was like, "Can I eat your pussy?" I know. And she was like, "Boy, stop!" And then she opened the door. We kicked it. She let me eat her pussy. You heard me? I tried to pause, but this ain't no pause. I tried it while I was eating her pussy. I put on my pants. I popped my dick out. You heard me? And I low key try to like when you hear me eat a bit and you try to creep up on her with the dick. You low key try to pop it in her. You heard me? And she was like, "Hell no, get a condom." In my mind, you heard me? I'm thinking she's gonna say, "Hell no, what is you doing?" She said, "Get a condom." You dig? And I had like an old condom in my wallet. You dig? And that bitch was like balled up like this and shit. And I put that bitch on. I hit her for like 2.3 seconds because she was like, "That's enough." And I hit it, and then shit, I walked out, and I was the happiest guy in the world. So that's exactly how it went.
Stop the count. Stop the count right now. Stop the count.
Come on, fam. You just dry stitched on yourself for a failed one-night stand? That's not revenge. That's revenge porn that won't load. Pause. You really got on camera. and told the world you had one shot. And your gun jam? Man, you're supposed to hit with a haymaker. Instead, you threw a tantrum and pulled a hammy. Man, you don't get to flex if your highlight reel is shorter than a TikTok ad. And you bragged about that the way somebody brags about almost winning a fight. Like, yo, I slipped. But if I had slipped, bruh, nah. You got 2 pumps in and a cease and desist. That's not a story you tell. That's a trauma you heal from. Look, man, beef is beef. And if Stevie J hurt your feelings, send him a DM, not a damn confession. And don't drag Eve into your midlife meltdown, bruh. She's not a prop in your bad boy therapy session. She didn't say your name. She didn't mention you. But you turned her into a pawn just to get back at a man who was joking about a cheesecake mission. You got PTSD from a pastry run. And the best response you could come up with was a limp attempt at revenge sex from the Bush era? Do better, bruh. You got kids watching. And look, clout chasing with 20-year-old pillow talk and no punchline is just embarrassing. That wasn't a flex. This was a public cry for relevance. A tragic comedy starring Choppa City, co-starring a memory that should have stayed buried under old XXL magazines. Let this be a lesson to all washed-up rappers with bad Wi-Fi and worse impulse control. Keep your L's off the internet and leave Eve alone.